Hello there, a very good evening and welcome to another edition of Face the Nation. We're joining you today live from the Stein Studios in Balthazaar to discuss what do we want for Sri Lanka. And of course, as always, we've got representatives from across Sri Lanka's political spectrum to put their ideas forward, to debate and to hopefully come to a conclusion that will benefit all of us living here in Sri Lanka. We've got with us today representing the Samagi Janabalawege, Attorney at Law Tharaka Nanayakkara. Very good evening. Thank you very much for joining us on our program today. Representing the People's Struggle Alliance, we've got Rajkumar Rajeevkanth. Thank you very much, Rajkumar, for joining us on our program today. I think it's the first time for you on Face the Nation. A very warm welcome to you.
Thank you.
Then we've got Kris Balthazaar from the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna. Kris, quite a veteran on Face the Nation, not your first time. Thank you very much for accepting our invitation yet again and joining us tonight. And we've also got with us Attorney at Law Lakmali Hemachandra, representing the National People's Power. Thank you very much, Lakmali, for joining us on our program today. So starting things off with Tharaka Nanayakkara representing the Samagi Janabalawege. Of course, today was quite a dark day with the death of one of your fellow party members, and we see that there are operations ongoing in Sri Lanka. There are operations ongoing in Sri Lanka regarding crime. We see shootings happening in the country. But as a whole, Tharaka, we're nearing 1 year. We're nearing the 1 year anniversary of the NPP government being in power. This is not the presidential election, but subsequent to the general election. So, out of everything that has happened, Tharaka, of course, I'm pretty sure you might be having certain good things to say, certain bad things to say. Where do you place everything that has happened, and where do you think we are at right now?
Shalan, thank you, and thank you MBC for having me again. And as you said, it's a very dark and a grim day for democracy. Chairman of a local council, chairman of the Waligama Pradesh Sabha, Lasantha Wickramasekara, was shot dead this morning in his office, on his official seat, while conducting his public day, while serving the general public. And the Minister of Public Security was heard to say that he had certain allegations against him, and that there is no threat to public security. So we are at a shock which is twofold, because one, a democratically elected local politician has been shot dead, which is a sad scenario for any democratic country, whatever the reason that may be. And we are equally shocked that the Minister of Public Security was quick to get up on feet and say that there were several allegations about this person, as if it was to justify the death or the killing, which is appalling, I would say, because ministers like Nalinda Jayatissa were much more humane in handling this issue in Parliament. We must give credit where credit is due, and the behavior of the Minister of Public Security, I must say, is appalling. Coming to your original second question, your main question, where are we and what do we expect? As an opposition, I have regularly mentioned in these programs that we are a reasonable opposition. In Sinhala we call ourselves a Sadharana Vipaksha, for the reason that we are not in the habit of taking our cadres to the street for every move that the government of the day are making. We remember how the current government, when they were in the opposition, they opposed several moves, starting from the late 80s, the Colombo South Medical College, where if I get my memory to jog back, up to the wind farms, solar farms, several development activities, several commercial activities like the Woos ice cream factory, all these were disrupted by the conduct of the politicians who are now representing the government. But we, while having the best interests of the people at our hearts and in our actions, we have contained ourselves, we have opposed matters which we have to oppose. Now, when the Ceylon Electricity Board was going to jack up the electricity bill by 6%, yes, we said, if you do this, we are going to get onto the streets and object. But then the Public Utilities Commission came out and said, no, for 3 months we are giving an assurance that this will not be increased, because that was to meet the burden, to ease the burden to the general public. But looking at the progress of the government, if there is any progress, now they are very quick to take credit for the economic recovery. Now on the 23rd of April 2025, the World Bank issued a report saying the recovery of Sri Lankan economy was commendable, and out of 123 countries, Sri Lanka's performance was one of the best in situations like this. And mind you, the credit they took was for the development that took place in 2024, where the economy, the GDP grew by 5%. And then there's another recent report published on the 7th of October 2025 by the World Bank, the Sri Lankan Outlook. There, the World Bank expresses their worry about the recovery procedure not being completed properly, and the medium-term growth going down to the prospect of medium-term growth going down to 3.1%, and more importantly, 22% of the Sri Lankan population being below the line of poverty. And then they can turn back and say, no, it was 24% last year. Yes, but the important factor is this report highlights that another 10% of the Sri Lankan population is at the risk of going below the poverty line with a minor economic shock, minor tremor in the national economy, which would put 3 out of 10 citizens in Sri Lanka at the risk of poverty or in poverty. So this is not a rosy picture. And having said that, we understand that the government has been learning their ropes. They have repeatedly said, we have not governed before, we have to understand the system, we have to work around the officials and all that. Now the honeymoon is over, now 1 year has passed. So therefore we expect this government to deliver what they promised. For instance, His Excellency Rajkumar Dissanayaka, when he was the presidential candidate in August last year, said the VAT on school books will be removed, VAT on food items will be removed. There are several promises to be kept before the night befalls upon them in 5 years. They can say their mandate is for 5 years, but President Gotabaya Rajapaksa also thought his mandate was for 5 years. But that's not what happened. Therefore, we urge the government not to take this economic situation lightly. We know that they are quick to take credit. We are fine with them taking credit for the work they have done, and we urge the government not to risk the economy, because we are supposed to start paying back our foreign debt according to the IMF arrangements from 2028. So to do that, doing that means about a $5 billion outflow a year, whereas our current reserves are still at 6.2 billion USD, which includes, that is our gross reserves, not the net reserves. That includes currency swaps and all economic tools, right? The net reserves is somewhere around 2.4 billion, if I am not mistaken, USD. So this is an alarming situation, for the reason that to be able to pay back in accordance with the IMF requirements, the economy must have a boost. We of course don't see any boost or boom in the economy. For the last 1 year, we haven't seen any proper FDIs coming in. Ministers, yes, ministers make statements saying this is confirmed, that is confirmed. This, some ministers say 600 million USD, some ministers say 150 USD, but to see these are figures from 2024, again before when there was another different regime in power. So therefore I would like to say that the situation is not very rosy. The government must take note of this and must take quick action to ensure that the economy will not go down further.
Thank you very much, Attorney at Law Tharaka Nanayakkara. We'll get into the details of what was discussed as we move along in the program today. I next move my attention to Rajkumar Rajeevkanth, representing the People's Struggle Alliance. Now, Rajeevkanth, the People's Struggle Alliance, quite a new party, but the leaders of your party have much experience in Sri Lanka's political arena. Again, the People's Struggle Alliance put themselves forward at the previous general election as a better opposition, that you all didn't contest necessarily to form a government at that point of time. You all made your intentions clear and said, you know, we are contesting to get seats in parliament to be a better opposition. So standing on that point of view, what do you see or what is the People's Struggle Alliance take on what is happening right now in Sri Lanka? Are we headed in the right path? Is this what the people were promised?
Okay. We have created our manifesto based on the people expectations after the Aragale. So based on that. So that is the major difference between NPP and ourselves. So when we are getting to this parliamentary election, we know that we don't have chance to form the government since we are very new, but on the other side we want a strong opposition in the parliament. So that is why our tagline was let's change the opposition. That is what our tagline. So after that, right now still we are outside the parliament also, we are fighting with our manifesto that we have created for people. There are certain differences, and also the certain things match with NPP's manifesto. They are not even fulfilled those promises. So we are just highlighting those things. That, as a person from Northern East, before getting to this party politics, I have fight for several other issues. So I can highlight few things before getting to the other things. You see, on the 129th page of the NPP's manifesto, they has clearly stated releasing all political prisoners. Okay, this is where we have fighted for quite long time. Even the Ranil period of the 2 years, he has released about 38 political prisoners. After that, there are 10 political prisoners remaining still in the prison almost for 30 years. So when we talked about these political prisoners, now they act like they don't have any idea about them. And it's clearly stated in the manifesto and is promised to all the Tamil people in Northern East. The people who are contested in Northern East, they have promised several times. Now again we have to stand on the road, and all the relation of those prisoners have to stand on the road and start their struggle. So these are the things they have promises on this manifesto. Apart from that, you all know this abolition of all the oppressive act, including the Prevention of Terrorism Act. So this PTA severely using by NPP. If you see the report by Human Rights Commission, for the first 5 months of the 2025, they have arrested 49 people under PTA. In 2024, the whole year under PTA, arrested was about 38 people. So just for the 5 months, they have arrested almost 49 people. And there are some sad stories. Person called Sohail have been arrested in Dehiwala to take some pictures, and he have been kept for 9 months in the jail, and he released just like that. They released and say sorry. This is what happened before also. And a comrade like Lakmali and us, we were in the same struggle. We were on the same, we are holding the same boat to abolish the PTA. So now thing has been changed. When they are getting to power, they are using that. We are keep on telling this is the oppression law. And this is what happened earlier also. From the 1970s, this law has been used to oppress people. So without committed any crime or any mistake, they are just like that arrested by signing. Or else now the person called Sohail, not even signed by defense minister, but they have used another technique to kept him. Every 14 days they have produced him the court and take the charge. Not even him. And after that there is a person called Sohail just to paste a sticker against this support to Palestine people. They have a very good stance on Palestine people. NPP have a very good stance, but they have arrested. So in the same way, in Northern East area, several people and media person Kumanan and other political activists, every day they have inquired by TIDs. So if you are defining some political activist under PTA or maybe under tagline of the terrorism, they are losing the whole grip. They want to do their politics and they want to speak about what they are facing actually. So these are the oppression faced by Tamil people from the beginning to end. There is nothing has been changed even in this government. And also if you see, especially the land acquisition and also illegal occupation and illegal structures has been built in several lands. In place called Thaiyeti, people has been fighting to get their land with their deed for almost 2-3 years. The whole 1 year, every Poya day they are protesting and not even have a single discussion, proper discussion with them. And no one is ready to understand their issues. And also Valley North in Jaffna, they are fighting to get their land, which is gazetted very unfairly in 2013. Everybody has accepted that. Still they want to get their land, and which is under their name, and they have all the documents. And after that, even after forming the NPP government in Muthunagar, in Trincomalee, there is several land has been occupied. That's a farmer's land. The people are on the road. And if you see Mannar, already 30 turbine windmills has been placed, and they are facing flood and other issues. The issues are true. The people are on the road. Nothing has been done so far. President has discussed with them 2-3 times. Only in this Mannar issues, President has interfered and discussed. But other issues like Muthunagar, Thaiyeti and other several places, no discussion, nothing. So these are the things I can clearly see, the ignorance and same kind of the neoliberal governments have done to the people. The same pattern has been continued. So the people are claiming, the government has been claiming that they are new and they are creating a new political culture. They are the good people. They want to do everything good to the public. So, but I can't see several same thing happening. So I want to know the answer for that.
Thank you very much, Rajkumar, Rajeevkanth representing the People's Struggle Alliance. Hopefully, we might find some answers during our program today. I now move my attention to Kris Balthazaar from the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna. Kris, the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna has been quite busy. Just I think a few months ago, you all launched your new campaign, Mahinda Sulanga Namal Suanga. And we saw recently your national leader has traveled to South Korea, taking it international. So a lot of things happening in the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna. Kris, what is the party's take about where Sri Lanka is right now, and what are your major concerns as we move forward?
Thank you first of all for having me on the show, Shalan, and it's been a pleasure to come back again. Let me start off by a famous saying said by Mr. Einstein, where it says, if you do the same thing over and over again and expect a different result, that is a sign of insanity. Okay, so here we heard this existing government come in and say for 76 years, hatta haya wasaraka saape. Okay. And they spoke about it, they spoke about people robbing, they spoke about so many things, so many allegations were made against so many people. But what are the changes that they have made? Reflecting on the current situation where development was rapidly growing, where we saw, everywhere there was development. Now the government talks about the amount, the profitability at the moment. But capital expenditure, not even 50% has been, the capital capex is coming out. So there is, without the capex coming out, it's the government only spending on the government's current, like the salaries, things like that. There's nothing that's coming back to the people. When capital expenditure happens, roadways develop, contractors get money, labor gets money, cities develop, different plans happen. So that is what you saw during the Mahinda Rajapaksa period. We saw the Vasantudava, we saw, starting from Mr. Premadasa's time with the Gammudava scheme. So all those were capexes that brought in various types of development, and we saw each city develop. But this government clearly has no intention on doing that. It's been 1 year. You can say, okay, we are new, we need time, we are fresh, but these are standard, things that have happened. Yes, you can argue and say, no, they started the extension of the Mirigam Expressway, but yes, it was their government who stopped it, their party back in the day who stopped it by talking about some tree that's in the middle of the thing. So, you know, development was halted, and now the people have to pay the burden of their wrongdoings at that time, their allegations at that time. People are paying for that, because the prices of what were quoted then have now changed by millions and sometimes billions. So the protests that's happened, and you know, with this whole thing happening, moving forward, you know, there is, we talk about, they spoke about government and previous government, they named people, there were allegations, there was, you know, cases that were filed, but where if they have come out now, Shalan, there should be, now has the tender process changed? It's the same tender process that all the governments did, that is still continuing. There is no national tender policy that has come out. That's one thing they promised. That has not come out. It's still the same thing. It's the same system that is going on. And corruption, now very soon you'll hear about the Litrogas tender that's happening. It will come out. So if there is no corruption, and mind you, the Litrogas directly falls under His Excellency the President. It's under the Finance Ministry. So these can go up to, I'm not saying that the President is corrupt, no, in no forms that I will ever say that. Because, you know, as ruling parties, whether it be the SJB, the UMP or the SLPP, we all know that this system has faltered. But the current existing government, they came in saying, you know, they are going to abolish all this, they are going to stop all of this, but for 1 year that has gone by, they have not done anything as yet. No systems have been changed. Only allegations that were thrown up. We saw, okay, I guess sometimes as political tamasha on the 9th of February 2015, His Excellency the President on stage in Tisamaharama said
2025 you mean?
2015 on stage, he said that, you know, where are the rocks going to come to make to fill this sea, and the port city has to stop. But now when you talk of the FDIs that are coming in, those FDIs all are most of those FDIs, the foreign direct investments, are coming to the port city. So you can't say that, you know, this money is coming because of of what they have done. It is because of what the SLPP government, under the guidance of Mahinda Rajapaksa, and then also by the Yahaparana government, continuing with the port city. They halted it, but they continued with it. Now that they are reaping the fruit out of that, but the actual policy, the fiscal policy of that is not what they actually trying to do. It has been converted into like a real estate marketplace. So the overall policy and the structure of the government has become absolute failure. And what we see, Shalan, more than that is because of the inexperience, they are caving into other places, and you know where people can, you know, they're giving opportunities for people to make money out of these whole things, which, you know, on the shadows they don't realize, but on the shadows it's happening.
Thank you very much, Kris Balthazaar. We now move our attention to Lakmali Hemachandra, attorney at law from the National People's Power. Lakmali, quite a few allegations against the government as usual, but I think it was that famous Venerable Thera who led the 2015 change in government, who said so meaning it says it's on the heels of the political transformation in a country that most of progressive laws that a country can have can be passed, must be pushed through quite quickly. I think much is the same when we speak about the Right to Information Act, the provisions on right to information, and even the provisions that in the end led to many former presidents in Sri Lanka being held to have violated the fundamental rights of the general public. Those provisions really came in the 19th Amendment to the Constitution. So, Lakmali, my question to you is, was much said against the government that nothing has been done. You know, we're still in the same place where we were. Development has stalled. How do you respond? And that's all I can ask, really.
Yeah. Thank you, Shalan, Niresh and Shihar for having me at Face the Nation again. And I think my response would be that, you know, this is a system that has been going on for a really long time. I mean, we keep saying this. You can't change something overnight. And I want to particularly address what Rajiv was mentioning, because he brought up the Prevention of Terrorism Act as well. I think as the government, our policy has also always been repealing PTA. And we have actually appointed a committee under the cabinet to review the current reform process and make it more human rights conducive. And that process is actually coming to an end as we speak, right? So there is a committee headed by President's Council Rian Sirasa Ratna, and with all the stakeholders in the committee, and that process is coming to an end, and we will soon see a draft of what the committee will propose. And so I think it's not something that we just said. PTA has been hard on the South as much as it has been hard on the North, and especially on Muslim people quite recently. So I think we have taken note of that, and we think that law has to change. Most of these arrests that you are talking about, which have been done under PTA, are actually related to organized crime. It has nothing to do with I do believe that PTA racially profiles. I agree that there is a component of racial profiling in PTA, which has been a continuous problem. But I think in the recent months, it has mostly been on organized crime gangs. And many of these people who have been arrested from abroad, who have been brought under red notices and so on, they are held under PTA and being questioned, because we do not have a strong law on organized crime at the moment, which the government is also contemplating and pursuing. I think IGP also spoke about this, that we need a stronger law on organized crime, which is a bigger problem than, I also believe it is a bigger problem than terrorism, which is which was a problem at one point, but I don't think we never know, the threat of terror might loom, but at the moment I think organized crime is the biggest problem that Sri Lanka faces, right, as was visible today. And for the next year, government plans to have a comprehensive plan on that, because this is something that, to be very honest, when we came into power, we had an idea about the challenges that we might face in terms of corruption, in terms of economic development, and so on, but this area of organized crime and drugs specifically is an area that I think we were quite taken back also. I think the President has very honestly spoken about this, that we open the door on crime and it looks really bad, we can either close it and move on, or we have to tackle it, right? So we have chosen to tackle it, and which is why drugs, controlling dangerous drugs and organized crime is going to be one of the main programs of the government during the next year. We're starting the national program on October 30th called Nanayakkara, Nation Together, and because we think beyond any difference, beyond racial, religious, other differences, this is a common threat that everybody faces, especially our young people are facing, and we believe that this is something that the government has the responsibility of removing from the society. So it is going to be a multi-approached system. It's not just going to be law enforcement, it's going to be rehabilitation, it's going to be prevention, and it's going to be encouraging young people to engage in other activities. There are huge problems that they face, mental health crisis and so on and so on. So it's going to be that kind of a comprehensive approach, but also stronger law enforcement, and which is what we have been seeing for the past few months. I particularly want to respond to Tharaka saying that the Public Security Minister made a comment on the Pradesh Sabha chairman who passed away today, who was killed actually in Veligama. And I think what happens in Parliament has to be understood in the context of the Parliament. Once you see one speech and think that this is he's responding to somebody in the Parliament, right? He's not as the Public Security Minister, he's not coming there and just making a statement. He's also responding to somebody in the Parliament. And if you look at what the opposition has been saying in the Parliament today, they have been trying to imply, and I think General Secretary of Samagi Jana Balawegaya, Mr. MP Ranjit Madhubandara openly said that this is a political death, that this is a political retaliation, an attack, right? And we do not want to disrespect the dead. This is an investigation, an ongoing investigation. The government has attached 4 units to investigate the death of the Veligama Pradesh Sabha chairman, and so on, right? But we also don't want to, let go of these comments, because once you push us, we also have to come and defend ourselves, right? So when the opposition openly says that this was some kind of a political attack against them, that the government is behind the death of this particular Pradesh Sabha chairman, then we also have to come and tell you this is actually like, this is not an attack on a political person. This is how the police has also understood this, and this is how the government is also understanding it. This is an attack on, this is again what we have been seeing for the past few months, that this is a problem of organized crimes gangs clashing together, right? And there is a specific person, I think Midigama Ruan, I think that is his name. Somebody, again another organized crime member, who has openly threatened this Pradesh Sabha chairman. And there has been a conflict, an ongoing conflict. He has several crime allegations against him, he's under several investigations, he's convicted of several crimes. So, I mean, once you put somebody who has a criminal record as a Pradesh Sabha chairman, and then they become, I mean, we do not condone any kind of violence. We don't, even if it's, an organized crime member, a gang member, even if it's a criminal, they do have the right to life in Sri Lanka, right? We believe that nobody should die in vain, and there has to be even capital punishment, right? Even I mean, the president has publicly said that he does not support capital punishment. So we do not support taking away anybody's life, but we also have to be realistic about why this crime happens, right? Even in the most peaceful countries, crime happens. Crime is an occurrence. So you can't blame the government and say that every kind of shooting that is taking place, there's the government behind it. I think that's a ridiculous claim to make, which is what the opposition has continuously made in the parliament today. So you have to watch the parliament in the context of the parliament and understand that as a debate, right? So the public security minister is actually responding to several allegations that were brought against the government and saying this is actually not, we don't understand it to be a political attack, we understand it to be an organized crime issue still, right? So we are sorry that he is a member of SJB and a Pradesh Sabha chairman, and we do not think that any Pradesh Sabha chairman should be attacked like that, but this is the truth, right? So I think we have to also remember when I think Amila Vidanakamage Migasare Khadja, right? That was his name. That was the popular name that he was known by. When he was murdered, also there was a similar attack on the government, saying that the government is, can't control this, there's a crime issue, there's a civil security issue, and so on. And then we kept on saying, no, that is not the case. This is a crime issue. This is not a civil. This is not a national security issue. There is a crime aspect of it. There is an organized crime aspect of it. And I think after investigations and after a few months, we can clearly see that this was in fact an organized crime gang issue, and there were, two sides clashing, and this person was killed as a result of that. And I mean, investigations are further ongoing, but this is what we have understood right now. So I mean, there might be more information that comes up later on, and we have also understood that there are certain political movements behind, political parties involved, there are certain political connections to these people, and so on, right? So I think investigations take time, and it is very prudent to not jump into conclusions about this is a political attack and so on. Once that is the kind of, once you take that kind of line against the government, we also have to defend us. I mean, we don't have to do it. We did not come and say that this was a, until these allegations were made in the parliament. The government, this is why Minister Nalina Jayatissa was very, very, because I don't think he was not in the parliament when these attacks were made, right? So public security minister has to be responsible for that. So anyway, I think that would clear up, because he was not right, and he, in the very same statement, he said that he does, just because somebody is a criminal doesn't mean that they should be killed or that they should die, that we do not, everybody has the right to live and everybody's life has to be protected by the government. We do stand by that, right? Everybody's life is worthwhile. But I think that we need to, like, clear up these allegations, otherwise it becomes a bit of a, it becomes problematic for us, right? And about the development, I mean, this will be the last, yeah, about the development issue that was brought up. I think Sri Lanka is a backwardly developed country. We do agree, right? So we have an industrial sector that is not fully developed. We have an agricultural sector that is not productive, and our service sector is, it's disproportionately taking a proportion of the economy, and there are problems in the Sri Lankan economy. Everybody agrees, but these are not problems that can be solved within 1 year, right? But we do agree that there has to be some sort of a development boost in the country, right? Which is why we, in the first year, we focus so much on restarting the development projects, even though some of them have not been started under the NPP government, right? Many of them actually, like the Central Expressway, which was, it is ridiculous to say that it stopped because of NPP, it stopped because of bankruptcy. Many of our development projects stopped because we had to face bankruptcy and we lost financing to these projects, right? Central Expressway specifically, Exim Bank pulled out of it and we had to negotiate with the Exim Bank to get the loan back. Luckily we did. And now the process has, the construction of the Central Expressway has started. In terms of environmental concerns about Port City or Central Expressway or anything else, I think environmental concerns are always there. Like Rajiv has just mentioned about the Manna development projects, right? The energy development projects. And we are not going to say that environmental concerns are entirely untruthful or anything. They are always going to be there. I think those, the concerns raised on Port City and Central Expressway might have been legit, right? And especially the Port City. There is sea erosion that has happened because of the Port City and so on. There's a cost that we pay for development as well. The people need a development dividend also. So these are things that we have to balance out. So we do not believe in entirely an anti-development agenda. We do believe that there is a certain environmental cost that we will be paying, and we are very realistic about that, right? So even with the Mannar project, that is the, I mean, sure, there is a cost, but then we have to, we need energy security for Sri Lanka. We need homegrown energy in Sri Lanka. We can't always rely on coal and fossil fuel. It's very expensive also. So we have to, sort of move away into sustainable energy, and this is, wind power is a very feasible, sustainable energy source for Sri Lanka at the moment. So we are going ahead with that. We are being very practical about all of these things, not just ideologically. There are things that we would also like to do, but not practical for Sri Lanka at the moment. So I think that's the approach that we have. And about development next year, I think IMF has actually projected that we are going to have 4.2 instead of 3.1 growth next year. This is the first time that they have actually increased the projection. So we have worries about what is going to happen. We are very concerned about debt repayments also. We understand the risk, but at the moment we are confident that we are in control of the process and that we will not have a bankruptcy or a default when debt repayments start in 2028. So that is the assessment at the moment.
Thank you very much, Attorney at Law Lakmali Hemachandra, representing the National People's Power. And the floor is open for questions from our very able journalists. On my right, Iresh Eliathambi, and on my left, Shihar Haniz. Iresh?
Lakmali, last year and the year before that, the skyrocketing levels of poverty in the country were so alarming, and we at Newsfirst in particular campaigned and created a lot of awareness on that. And when the NPP came into office, it was around 25%, little less perhaps.
Yeah, 24.
And of course, you can drive people into poverty very quickly, but getting them out of poverty takes a lot longer. What's the plan? I mean, we obviously couldn't expect that to come down to about 10% within a year. It takes time. What is the plan, the multi-pronged plan to uplift those who are in poverty and also those who are just above the poverty line, because there are millions more who are just above the poverty line.
Yeah, I think we have 22% poverty rate at the moment, which is quite high, and I mean it's really high. It's not quite high. It's really high. And interestingly, we had a discussion with the World Bank today about the Aswesma program in the Parliament, and that is actually one of the questions that I asked them also. You know, it's interesting that you decided to take so they were talking about the crisis as an opportunity to reform social security sector in social security in Sri Lanka, and then I wanted to ask them the question, you know, do you really think 25% poverty is the ideal moment to, you know, take away Samruddhi and start a new program? So we had an interesting conversation about that. But anyway, I think one of our main programs of the government this year is going to be Praja Shakti, which is a poverty alleviation program. And it is not just a poverty alleviation program in the form of giving cash transfers. This is about getting people to take part in the development process, making sure that at the rural level people have more control over what happens in their villages, and they are able to design projects, and they are able to, you know, input into projects and understand how to drive development within their villages. So we have something called the Praja Shakti Sabha, which will have local level officials from the Gram Niladhari, economic development officers, and then you will have people from those areas, the rural villages, and also, you know, experts and so on who are living in those areas, engineers, maybe principals, teachers, who will have, you know, who will be able to design certain projects within the at the village level, and government will be financing those. So Praja Shakti is going to be one of the main flagship programs that will be launched with the budget for the next year, and it will be all of these projects are going to be financed through government, and the government will be helping people to alleviate themselves out of poverty. So it's going to be a participatory, not a top-down kind of approach. It's a more, you know, grassroots level poverty alleviation. And so this is because we understand that poverty, whatever said and done, you can talk about development all you want, but if there is 22% poverty in the country, that is a crisis. And at the end of our 5-year term, we do need to see, one of our main objectives is to see considerable decrease in that number, right, in terms of absolute poverty, relative poverty, and also multi-dimensional poverty. So in terms of access to healthcare, education, transport, and so on and so on. So we want to, this is also why in the first year we focus so much on health, education and transport. We allocated a lot of money into improving those services. That is something that is going to continue for the next year as well, making sure that more people have access to education, healthcare and especially transport. Transport is a huge expenditure bill on people, so we want to improve that public transport. So we'll see, that is one of the main plans. So that poverty alleviation is actually right in the mind of the government right now. It's the main program for next year.
Lakmali, now if you take this year's budget, the tax revenue is very healthy, right? Yeah. We see the customs revenue is almost, they have almost reached, you know, 91 or 92% for the year, the targeted for the year. And then the Indian revenue, you are getting, you know, people are trying to comply with the authorities on tax payment. And then you also have started this illegal assets in the police division, right? And I saw that you'll have ordered to get 50 million worth asset from one of those underworld right guy. Now, given that revenues are quite healthy and you all have reduced the government expenditure as well, when are you going to give this benefit to the public? Now, if you see, the youth are expecting employment, I mean, a lot of people are going out abroad because they believe that they have opportunities in other countries. The government employees are expecting more salary hike, private sector the same, and then the pensioners are waiting for better return on their FDs. When are these going to happen?
I think it's true that revenue has increased and it has, we have reached 15%, and for the next year also we are hoping that it will be at that level. But we cannot, just because the revenue has increased, we have to make sure that this is actually something that we discussed, I think, in the Public Finance Committee, that just because the revenue has increased, we don't want to, risk it also. Because if you remember, one of the major problems that drove Sri Lanka into the crisis was also low revenue. And we want to maintain it at 15%. And what we are hoping to do is not to add any more taxation on Sri Lanka, on the people. And because there is an increase in compliance, you rightly said, right? There is an increase in compliance, and we believe the system has also become more efficient in collecting revenue, especially the excise. And I think just today there was a new regulation that was passed for speedy recovery of excise deficits, right? So due excise. And so I think there will be an increase in revenue, but we also have to be very careful in how to spend that, and how to maybe give more benefits to indirect taxpayers, which is what the government wants, especially to increase if there's a possibility of decreasing the VAT. And like, I think I'm not sure which one mentioned the VAT on stationery and school stationeries and items. This is something that we did want to do, but last year it was not possible because we could not get IMF to agree on it. But we are trying to do that, and let's see. I mean, just because the revenue has increased, we cannot straight away decide now, okay, now everything is fine, let's cut all these VATs and all that. That might not be possible. But if we can stabilize it for a next year also, and if we see a sustainable growth in the income, then maybe the year after would be a better year to consider a VAT decrease. I think that is something that even the finance ministry is interested in, but we have to see, because the impact can be very detrimental. Like they said, we have debt to pay, right? We have a debt repayment starting in 2028, so we can't take a lot of risks. But we do believe that expenditure has to be rationalized in a way that gives more benefits to people, especially social security. I think just today there was a cabinet decision to distribute shoes for school children under certain poverty levels, and so those programs are going to continue, and we have to reform the social security distribution also, especially in terms of Aswesuma. There are problems in Aswesuma that we want to reform it. I think the Welfare Benefits Board is looking at reforming it, answering Niresh's question also on poverty alleviation and handling poverty. So those things are going to happen. But Shehar, I don't think that a direct dividend of tax revenue increase will be delivered next year. I think that will have to wait until everything stabilizes. I think decreasing cost of living in terms of productivity improvement and handling price fluctuations in the market, which is something that we have been really trying to do this year, is a far more feasible way of doing it. And yeah, that is where we are directed at.
Tharaka, now in the midst of all of this that's happening in Sri Lanka, there was quite a lot of focus on the alliance that was recently announced between the Samiki Jana Balawegaya and the United National Party. I saw a statement made by you as well. Like, although some people see the alliance in a positive light, maybe those who've been supporting a union between the SJB and the UNP, there are those who find the union seriously concerning as to how the party or both parties or the alliance will progress. Could you try and unravel everything that's happening here? Like, what is the official stance of the SJB? Because subsequent to this decision being announced, we see several members of the SJB themselves coming out and saying that this is problematic. We don't agree with some things that have been done here. So, what's the official stance really here?
Thank you, Shalan, for bringing that up. I would like to have 2 minutes to respond to Lakmali also after I answer your question. SJB and the UNP are engaging in very productive discussions about how to move forward as one political front. That doesn't mean the SJB will abandon its political machinery and the party that it has built over 5 years to join the UNP directly. No. Political alliances is nothing new in this country, and even the predecessor, if I may say so, of the NPP, the JVP, has been part of several political alliances, explicit and tacit both. So that is not a question. And also you asked, you did not ask, but then when you referred to my response to a question raised by a Sirasa journalist, the question arises, why would people want the UNP and the SJB to join? So, as we clearly understand, there are at least two lines of political thought in any democracy. One is left-wing politics, one is right-wing politics. UNP and the SJB both are leaning towards the right from the center, and there is a massive following who are quiet and silent because the two parties are not working in tandem, and this alliance is essentially and initially to harness that base, because every political party operates on the basis of getting into power, not for political reasons. As I said, we have several criticisms about the system of governance and the way the NPP is handling the economy. So we feel that there will be a point where invariably an alternative will have to be brought in, and we would like to be that alternative because we have, I think, a sustainable mechanism to run this country.
But then, Tharaka, my confusion is in the fact that now, despite the fact that, we have these certain established terminologies, left-wing politics, right-wing politics, when we really break it down to the mere core of it, the reason why the SJB was formed in the first place and broke away from the UNP was because former Prime Minister, former President Ranil Wickremesinghe has been in that spot for the longest time. This conversation always comes up, it goes down, it comes up, committees are appointed to reform the UNP, but nothing is really done at the end. So my problem being, now at this point of time, at this very, very latter stage, now you have, once you broke away from the UNP, there were accusations that, Ranil Wickremesinghe was part of the central bond scam, he protected those thieves. Then just before the presidential election last year, there were massive allegations that, he is enabling corruption, he has sided with the SLPP, who your party accused of being corrupt, so on and so forth. And at this point of time, once there is no election, probably the next election is going to be a provincial council election. But at this point of time, to retract on all of that and say, okay, now we're going to start working together, what's the logic behind this? Like, how do you sell this to the people?
Now, Shalan, this worry, I understand the worry that these two political, it is not an alliance between Mr. Sajith Premadasa and Mr. Ranil Wickremesinghe. To understand this very clearly. Sometimes some things you can explain 100 times. It's about how, I'm not talking about you, but certain institutions have a way of pushing their opinion forward, trying to use their strength and their voice to say, no, this is what the public wants. No, that is what that particular institution wants. This is an alliance between, a proposed alliance between the United National Party, which is a democratic political party, and the Samagya Jana Balawegaya, which is a democratic political party again. And this is, as I said, not Ranil Wickremesinghe and Sajith Premadasa tying up to do anything. So if there are allegations, yes, there were allegations made against certain components of the United National Party. But those allegations now, it's not the SJB that is in power. It's not the UNP that is in power. It's the NPP government that has been in power for over 1 year, as you said, right? And the NPP has also been making these very same allegations when they were in the opposition. But not a single step has been taken. If I say very clearly, if Mr. Ranil Wickremesinghe is guilty of any charges connected to the so-called bond scam, action must be taken. And we will not stand by him the way we stood by him when he was unreasonably arrested by the CID for a charge which was manufactured for political reasons. If there is evidence, there is a process. You are a lawyer, I am a lawyer, so we understand the process. So that process can be followed. But it is sometimes, again, I am not directing this at you personally, but it is shameful to see certain forces trying to undermine a political alliance between two parties, citing various reasons. The reason is that everyone will be very worried that the centre-right is united in this country, and there is a political vacuum that will be filled by the centre-right union of the United National Party and the SJB, and that will affect the prospects of the government of the day when it comes to election. Now we are looking at provincial councils which has not been held. Yes, you will say it was not held during Ranil Wickremesinghe's time. Yes, I agree with you, it's wrong. It's wrong. Whatever is wrong is wrong. Whoever who does it, it does not matter. It was wrong, but that should not be continued. If it's a wrong practice, it has to be corrected. Provincial councils elections have been postponed for, I think, almost a decade, if I'm not mistaken. Almost 2018, yeah, say
close to a decade.
Yeah, close to a decade, and those democratic processes must go on. So I feel the unnecessary worrying is because of these aspects. So,
but Tharaka, again, just one more question on this, and then we will move on. I promise you. It's again semantics that you're getting into. The reason is because just before the presidential election, we see opposition leader Sajid Premadasa saying, no deals, no deals. And I do understand a political party is at complete liberty to enter into any alliance. I mean, at any given time, if the SJB wants, they can get into an alliance with the NPP, the SLPP, whiwhichever party.
Not if it's SJB.
No, I'm just saying. Nobody's standing in the way or questioning the fact that a political party can form an alliance. That is something that can be done. My question to you is why the alliance at this point of time? Because the reason why I'm asking this from you, Tharaka, is because we have seen political alliances in Sri Lanka, and especially political alliances involving former President Ranil Wickremesinghe. In 2001, the government didn't last. I mean, now how many times do we have to go through the same thing? I think Kris Balthazaar said that quite aptly. You can't do the same thing over and over again and expect a different result. Ranil Wickremesinghe has been in political alliances with Chandrika Bandaranaike Kumaratunga, failed. Maithripala Sirisena failed miserably. The 52-day government period was also credited to the lapse in the security arrangement in Sri Lanka that finally led in the Easter Sunday attack. So then subsequently alliance with the SLPP, that also whatever alliance that they had failed, lost the presidential election. Now alliance with the SJB. So tell me, Tharaka, why do we have to test this again when this has already been tried and tested? And the history between Ranil Wickremesinghe and Sajid Premadasa, although you said that it's not an alliance between the two leaders, they are the two leaders at the end of the day, and there is a question of party democracy also within. So again, very simply, my question is, why now, since this has been tried over and over again and it's failed, why do you think that extraordinarily this is going to succeed now, this alliance?
Shalan, now firstly let me clarify one thing. I am not here to answer any questions on behalf of Mr. Ranil Wickremesinghe.
Okay.
I can answer any question on behalf of the Samagi Jana Balawegaya, which is a democratic political party.
Okay.
Mr. Sajith Premadasa, our leader, is a democratic leader, and there has been a discussion in the party that we should explore opportunities to connect with the United National Party. Again, I say this is not an alliance with Mr. Ranil Wickremesinghe per se, and Mr. Sajith Premadasa, being the democratic leader he is, has accepted that position and given his blessings for a negotiation between the two parties, right? And you can ask again and I can give you the same answer if you like. And
last question I told you, I'm not going to question you on this again.
What is tried and tested is alliances with Mr. Ranil Wickremesinghe, as you said, according to you. Gospel according to Shalan, no, I don't know. According to Shalan or according to TV1 or according to MBC, I don't know. But that is not of concern because
but not according to Tharaka Nanayakkara.
Here, no, because I don't agree with you.
You don't agree with me?
I don't agree with
you.
You
think that Ranil Wickremesinghe's Chandrika Bandanayakkara alliance was
I told
success?
you very clearly, I'm not here to answer on behalf of Mr. Ranil. I don't represent him, no.
Okay. No, I'm not asking
you have invited me.
On behalf of him.
You have invited me to represent the SJB. So if you wanted answers about Mr. Ranil Wickremesinghe and his successes
it's not about Ranil Wickremesinghe. It's about
someone.
It's about something
that
happened in Sri Lanka.
Someone from
it's about something that happened in Sri Lanka.
Someone from the United National Party, right? So President Sirasena and President Wickremesinghe's the ex-former president, I don't know whether after the their benefits were taken away, but not their position. So I can say I think President Sirasena and President Wickremesinghe's alliance, yes, that had several negative results, but also it entrenched democracy in this country. Don't forget. In 2015, when that alliance came into power, democracy was badly pushed aside. Constitution was amended where a president could contest for unlimited number of elections. The independent commissions were undermined. So all this, the first 100 days of that government won a lot of victories for democracy. So you can't, I won't, you can, I won't, I'm sorry. And me being a democratic person, I won't say you can't. I won't call it a complete failure, but yes, due to the conduct of President Sirasena, misunderstandings happened. Mr. Wickremesinghe was removed overnight, and if I am not badly mistaken, even the current NPP leaders went to court challenging that decision.
You can just answer for yourself, you know.
No, I can.
I'm here to answer for NPP.
Look, you can't dictate terms to me.
No,
I am answering a question.
No,
I remember. No, I was patiently waiting. I will respond to you. Wait, I will respond to you. You have this problem of jumping the gun because that is why you will face a lot of issues in time to come, right?
You can answer for yourself.
Not to call
along with several other political parties.
Several other political parties went to court to challenge that undemocratic action. So, if this alliance is unholy, that alliance also must be unholy, right? And then there were alliances between not only between Ranil Wickremesinghe and Chandrika Kumaratunga, between the JVP and Chandrika Kumaratunga's SLPP, UPFA was also an alliance.
There was an alliance, yes.
They contested together for the parliamentary elections. President Andrew Kumar Disanayaka contested under the Bulat Kole symbol of the UPFA. So alliances do happen. So let's not worry. You should worry. I think one should worry if an alliance is creating misfortune for the general public, or it is to undermine the well-being of the general public. Otherwise, I don't understand why anybody should worry about alliance between the UNP and the SJB. And as I said, Mr. Sajith Premadasa, being the democratic leader he is, I think that would answer a lot of questions you have in your mind, but if you want to raise another question, I will respond to you. Being the democratic leader he is, has allowed the majority opinion of the party, permitted the majority view of the party to go into negotiations with the United National Party to see. Now the alliance has not happened. We are still laying down ground rules for this possible future alliance. It can happen, it might not happen. So let's see.
Kris, you're representing the SLPP. How does the SLPP view this possible alliance between these two?
Well,
Are you all happy about it, or?
no, but you have to understand one thing is, we have called collectively as an opposition, combined had discussions about the unjust that's happening to various parts of various political personnel. So you saw our national leader, national organizer Namal Rajapaksa going in when Ranil Wickremesinghe was arrested. He was one of the first people to be in courts, be present there. So like that, whatever the decision is, the common objective now is the blatant lies that this government has told to come into power. To justify.
Can I just say that I
No,
would really like
I did not take your time. I did not jump into your time. Because I also have lots to answer to her.
No. Let's get Chris to finish, and then we can definitely go to
I would really like for them to answer the questions. We're talking about NPP.
You know,
yeah.
half of the screen time was given to her, and she just standed us
And
went on.
whether we answer or not to the satisfaction of the panel, not to Lakmali.
Yeah.
I mean,
Whether she has to be satisfied or not, that is respect.
Chris, you can.
As the opposition, we can say what we want. But this is half the media time given to her, and then when we speak, she jumps the gun.
No,
if that happens, then
that's the reason why we intervened and said, Chris, continue.
If it's going to continue, you will see the Lord on the show.
No.
I swear I can do that. I'm very good at doing that. Okay.
Chris, let's continue.
The whole thing here is about for us as SLPP, from having 6.9 million mandate, we came down to 3%. So we made our mistakes, we learned from our mistakes. We have openly come out and apologized for our mistakes. For example, like the fertilizer thing, we messed up. So many things. So that's why there's a new Politburo that's there, who's been placed. Namal Rajapaksa leads it as a national organizer. What happens between the SJB and the UMP, or even my friends, colleagues' party, or irrespective, we are on a path of growing our party, and we've already started. We were the only party to come out and say that if there is any from the next election, any candidate who comes in, you have to bring out your police statement. Otherwise, we won't be given the nominations. Within the party, there's already progress happening to see as to if there are people who have the allegations, whether there's anything of that sort, because we've seen lots of allegations come out. For example, when it comes to this whole drug thing, we saw, the whole ICE thing is all out there. But when that moment is captured, where have they given the government analytic reports on most of these drug busts?
The Midday drug bust government analyst
Khandana one
came in,
where they walked into a house and made such a big thing. Where are the analytic reports on that?
How soon do you think, Chris, that this government analyst report should be put out?
That is, if they are going on such a big bust.
Are you saying that there was no drugs?
No, I'm asking you to find out, as a responsible media channel, find out how many analytic reports have come out of this.
I think I would be able to find it out unless the magistrate orders for it to be produced in court.
No, because all these cases that are come, it is just instant, and then they say there is nothing that has, the reports have, they don't talk about the follow-ups. So I also can say, there are so many allegations that happen, but what is the aftermath? What happened after that? So many people are accused, so many people are taken into questioning, but after that, until the next thing comes in, they go silent. What happened to the 312 containers? Where is it now? What position is the government now to tell us what is happening? Are those the ones that weren't those? It can be what these drugs were imported. Who was behind it? So give those details out as well. That is what that should happen. You talk about, just for this whole this is 96 killings, national security at its maximum. You talk about all this, how they are going behind drugs, but every single day, openly. In Lakmali and Dahiwal alone, within 1 week, 7 deaths. Within 1 week. How many more people are going to die like this on the road? And then, irrespective, it was said that we don't disrespect the dead. This government disrespected even the living. You know, it was their colleagues, even some of their local party members who said Nivansuwa to Mahinda Rajapaksa while he's living. Okay, we saw. You know how the campaign went. When a SLPP politician died, you know the way they reacted to it. You don't know.
Are you saying that an NPP member openly, you know, reacted differently?
No, it's they have their team that does it for them, a social media team that does
You
it. So
expect me to be like
No. So Lakmali will get an opportunity. Yes.
So
Continue.
And
So
it
the-
will be a very long period.
Yeah.
But no, but
all these allegations.
overall, Sharon, you know, it's for us, as this is a budgetary discussion, you know, we spoke about, you know, going in for, Lakmali spoke about going in for green energy. What happened to CB reforms? The reforms that were bought by Kanchana Vijayasekara was absolutely changed.
Yes.
Okay, so if you are going in for green energy, you should have stuck to the CB, the reforms that were bought in by Kanchana, not restructuring back to the same thing. You know.
When you say restructuring back to the same thing, what do you mean?
No, so the reforms were not done in the way like
It wasn't privatized.
It was yeah. Then also you talk about governments. Now, as you said, the government is getting in so much of revenue. You know, customs will boast saying that they got the highest revenue ever. Shalan, have you? Now, the minister at that time, Kanchana, was making 100 rupees from a litre of petrol. Did you get that 100 rupees to your pocket? You know, we pay.
I think the statement has been.
The-
it was
the-
not not really a statement that was made, was it?
Who it was openly made.
Okay.
Okay, you know, we pay the highest tax for food. How much if you want to buy an apple for a child, how much do you pay for an apple? How much can for what we are one of the highest paying for taxpayer countries for food. Now, if the government is reaping all of this money, where is this money going? Are my children benefiting from it? Their school books have the prices reduced. Has my children's school shoes prices reduced? Has the cost of your clothes reduced? Has the cost of transport reduced? Has the cost of fuel reduced? Has the cost of, you know, we pay the highest tax for vehicle imports. Has a single road been developed? Has the cost of spare parts come down? What has come down? Then government-led organizations like Sri Lankan Airlines, where they said they've got the best expertise running the company. Today they come out and say that they're running at losses. But they bring down old aircraft and fly it around Colombo and do a major show there, wasting Sri Lankan airline money when they could have spent that on something else, or gone to another international country destination and promoted Sri Lanka.
But Kris, now, with regard to Sri Lankan Airlines, do you think that it's fair for these allegations to be raised when at the root of Sri Lankan Airlines, the reason it started making all of these losses and was the change in government, and of course was the change in ownership?
No, change in ownership, that was it, but then it was restructured. There were A350 aircrafts that were ordered, 12 aircrafts that were ordered.
And also with the relationship, of course, with your national leader and the chairman of Sri Lankan Airlines, who is currently under investigation and also been produced before magistrates court for, you know, various misappropriations in the airline. Do you think it's fair?
As in, what do you mean by
the chairman of Sri Lankan Airlines? For
the chairman at that time was the chairman who got us the One World Alliance, who was capable of, you know, linking Sri Lankan Airlines to so many other alliance airlines. If Sri Lankan Airlines does not fly to the US, but via other airlines through the One World Alliance, that was done by the chairman at the time. We were not flying directly to, we were only doing destination flights, but now through the alliance that chairman took, we were able to reach out to Sri Lankan wing. So as a national flag carrier, we reached out on.
There was also the incident of the Airbus deal. Now that is a proven allegation, because
That
there
was
was
a proven
settlement
allegation.
in the SFO in the United Kingdom. Sri Lanka did not get any settlement amount out of it because we weren't a part of it. So with all of these massive corruption allegations, or actually proven corruption within Sri Lankan Airlines, then do you think it's now fair to blame the NPP for running Sri Lankan Airlines to the ground?
Now we saw within 1 month of coming in that some rata in IA is going to send this amount of dollars, that amount of dollars, all of that was brought up. Okay, now where is that $1 billion that was brought into the country? Okay, show me where in the treasury that money is now, where the the NPP comrades have deposited their rata viruo, deposited. Even now, just show me where they have done it. Of course, they can drink the wine when they have a bottle of wine, but show me at least as to how many dollars that person has sent into the country now. Okay, so that is all just, these are all media shows that they put up in time to time. But productively, Sharon, going back, where now if you want to buy your child, if you want to take your child for a meal, where can you take your child for a reasonable meal? I'm a father of two children. Okay, I can proudly say that this is this thing. When you have a government that does not understand the empathy of being a parent, of being a father, who runs behind other things of the country and not worry about the whole, this thing is the center of this thing is the family, and if the family can't sustain themselves, if a child can't be sent to school, if a child can't be, the shoes can't be given, and even if the farmers, if they're not being given the subsidies, what's the point of boasting about how much you're making of, how much the customs revenue has increased, how much
when you say farmers are not getting subsidies, what do you mean?
No, like the fertilizer subsidies.
They're not getting the fertilizer subsidies.
We gave fertilizer free.
And then you stopped it.
We stopped it, but it was given at a reasonable amount. How much is a bag of urea now? 14,000 rupees. Whereas when we were given 500 rupees.
40,000 rupees.
14,000.
No, after the...
For a 50 kg bag is 14,000.
During the economic crisis, during the government of Gotabaya Rajapaksa, I think a urea bag went for about 40,000.
40,000, yes.
40,000.
Because there was restrictions on, there was import restrictions at that time. Okay. And then the global market also.
So you're
talking of the dollar prices.
You're comparing the government to back in 2000, what, 10, 12? Is that what you're doing? I mean.
No. If now.
I think those were some of the reasons why.
No. I agree. The country went into a crisis. One is because
not
of
the country, the government took it.
No. It was not only Sri Lanka. There were so many countries that went down. Globally, we saw this setup now. I'm not saying that yes. That's why I said I started off by saying, as the SLPP, as the government, yes, we have to take responsibility for most things that happen.
Yeah,
you can't
Chris,
say we can't say no to that.
Chris, adding to Sharon's question.
But we have the experience and we have the know-how, and that's why we can come out and say sorry and correct ourselves. But this government has zero experience and they don't have the know-how to do it.
Now you say that you admit the past mistakes and you want to correct them. How are you going to do that? I mean, there are proven corruption and links to drug dealers. And one of you removed one of the members from your party a month
Manamperi.
back, right? Manamperi. So there are some proven track records in your party. How are you going to clear them?
So look, now you take the Easter bombings. The JVP nationalist member was Ibrahim. Okay. So now you're talking of a drug this thing. You're talking of a Easter bombing that suicide bombers went and bombed churches.
Ibrahim was involved in the Easter Sunday attack.
No. So his sons were no.
His sons.
Okay. So now Manamperi, he was a local government member or he contested.
Yes.
Okay, but not that we know that he's personally involved with these things. The JVP did not know that Ibrahim's sons were going to blow up the country. Likewise. If you want to do justice to them, likewise, Manamperi, we did not give him nominations knowing that he was selling drugs.
Okay, then.
Or he was involved in making ice.
Recently, Prasanna Ranatunga withdrew his appeal from the Court of Appeal with regard to being convicted for extorting money from a businessman. So, extortion. The government minister, I believe, for public security at one point. Now, as it stands, there's no appeal, there is a conviction. So he had extorted a businessman and he's convicted. So what is your party, how is your party going to address that issue?
No, so that's what we said. You have from now on, if you are to get, irrespective of your this thing,
So is
you
he,
are
is
to
he
get
now,
your
is he now
nominations.
out of the SLPP? I'm sorry to put you in a spot, but
No.
I'm curious.
It's that we have started reforming our party, and we have a central committee who's doing that. Everywhere now we have been realigning in every single place.
So is Prasanna Ranaka out of the Sri Lanka Freedom Party now because he is a convicted of extortion?
He contested under the gas cylinder.
Okay.
Okay,
So
but
he's not a part of the SLPP.
he's not a member of the SLPP anymore.
Okay.
He contested with the gas cylinder.
Yes.
So all of the ones who contested the gas cylinder were openly taken out at that time.
Okay. Okay.
So if they want to rejoin, then when they rejoin, then there'll be consideration.
What about Keheli Rambukal?
Kehri did not
Keheli
contest.
Rambukal.
Kehri did not contest.
Yes. So he's not part of the SLPP anymore.
There'll be action taken against him.
Okay.
He did not contest, so we take it that he retired from politics.
Okay. Okay. Shihar, I think.
Yeah, I want to go back to the budget again.
I think Shihar, just one. I think Lakmali wanted an opportunity to.
No, I don't
respond.
think. I mean,
You
my
can have
point.
a
No,
minute.
my point is this: I come here, you ask me a question, I answer that. Right? I think I have been very outright. I'm upright about it. I don't go about talking about UNP or SJB or anybody else. I want to. The question of NPP getting into is SJB getting into alliances because JVP at one point in time got into alliances. Is that the reason now? Right? I mean, is that what you're going to come here and say? Because we've got into an alliance with Mrs. Chandrika Bandaranayakkara, got into an alliance with Mahinda Rajapaksa, all for valid reasons at that point. When those were bad, we got out of them, never went back. Right? And eventually we took power on our own. So if you really want to play this game by saying, oh, you mentioned something, it's, what is happening with your party and the criminals inside the party, let's talk about Ibrahim. I mean, are these answers? I mean, are we going to take these answers as answers?
Shalan,
Just
I
something
don't
that
think
really want
Lakmali
to-
should, NPP must be in power, but they can't dictate terms in a public conversation.
I'm not
We are
dictating
also
terms.
part of
I'm
this
questioning the
conversation.
answers
No,
that
I
you
won't
give.
take this
I'm
lightly.
not
Either you
dictating
all
terms.
must put an end to this,
So no,
or just have
because-
Lakmali in the show.
because
Lakmali, just
if-
1 minute.
if-
Tharaka, what is your?
Tharaka
what is
got
your-
really triggered. I mean, I interrupted him
objection-
My
also.
objection is
to what-
clearly
what Lakmali said, yes.
when you ask me a question,
Yes.
I'm at liberty to
Wow.
draw whatever
Yes.
analogy
And
I
I'm-
like
Yes.
Yeah.
in answering your question. So did Kris, I
Yes.
suppose, right? I'm not answering, he can answer on his
Yeah.
behalf,
Yes.
right? So if Lakmali is objecting to, Lakmali can
I'm not
defend it.
objecting, I'm critiquing your
Lakmali
answers.
can,
She's-
Lakmali
I'm
Critiquing your answers.
can
critiquing-
clarify
I'm
it,
critiquing
but
your
he can't
answers.
say
No,
what is
you
this,
can't
what
tell me
what
what I
are these
want to do.
answers.
You are
So,
dictating
Neither
terms to
can
me.
you tell us
I
what we
did
have to
not.
do.
I
He
did
can't
not.
tell us
what are we to
you
say?
can.
No,
You're,
so
you're running the
Can I
show,
not?
you can tell me if you're not satisfied with the answer,
Yeah.
you can ask another question. And then we have come here time and again. When you all invite us, we come here.
don't
Because the
understand
show
why
is
that's
hosted by you.
triggered by
The
my
day
trigger.
Lakmali is hosting the show, we will decide
I'm
whether
not
we are
hosting the
coming
show.
or not.
I'm not hosting
So
the show.
don't let her dictate terms
Earlier
to you.
on, Sharan,
I mean,
can I?
so
No, because
Lakmali, just give
this
us-
is
no,
this
no,
is
sir.
uncalled for
So,
because
why is
she
it
can
uncalled for?
define.
So the objection is
Yeah.
that she can't comment on your answer.
No,
Is
she
that-
can. But
Okay.
what is the comment she made? She said, "What is
So now you are dictating on
these,
how she comments
are
on
these
your
the answers? Are these the answers to give? I don't speak
Yes.
about the SJB, so
Okay.
SJB should not speak
I did
about
not say
NPP. That is
So
what
I did not
that
say
is
that.
what she's saying.
Also, it's,
That
is what she's saying.
it is also suppressing the
That is what she's saying.
I'm
So
opposing the opposition now.
oppressing the like what
This
they
is
do.
what they are
exactly-
doing.
By this what they are doing.
This is-
Can I get some time to
Yes, I'm sorry.
I am like hosting a matter.
No, Sharan, I do want to.
This is the irony of being in power. You have to face it.
I do want to take the time. I do want to take the
Just a
time.
few minutes, Lakmali, yes. So,
No, just a few minutes.
Yes.
I mean,
For you,
because
for
no.
You can answer my.
You're
and I
really
can
an
just.
eye. No, because you know why? This is the problem. I mean, when earlier on when I interrupted Tharaka to ask him for like a 10-second question, he got triggered and lashed out at me.
They're not triggering. They're not triggering.
There you go, right?
Okay.
And then when I'm critiquing the answers that you're giving here, because when you're asked about the criminals in your own party, now you're forced to have a policy of having inquiring into the police records of your own party members if they are to be given nominations, right? Which means
you are not referring to me, I hope. My party has not come into that decision.
Talking about the party that has come to that decision.
Why don't you refer to? But
right?
we have
I'm
not
talking about the party that has come to that decision, who openly acknowledged in this forum.
For purpose of clarity, let me say that's not the SGB.
Okay, Lakmali.
Is that okay? Yeah. So then I have. If that is the level of connection that you have with criminal activity, right? If that is the concern that you have with criminal activity, what is the point of circling back to Ibrahim, right?
What
and
Ibrahim?
saying,
How many buses are burned?
Can I talk?
When the JV was in rule.
During the Lakmali 5 minutes, you will also
Can I talk?
get respond after. Of course.
I don't have to talk about only Ibrahim. I can talk about how many planters were murdered, how many
let's give Lakmali
monks were killed, how many
These are the
Christian priests
gentlemen
were
who
killed,
questioned me earlier on my interruptions.
how many transformers were burned.
Yeah.
Let's give Lakmali.
This is the problem, and now they're saying that just because I questioned or I critiqued, I'm not dictating terms to anybody, but I do have the freedom of expression to critique anybody's answers. I do not think these are valid answers to the questions that are being raised by anybody here, right? So if what is the point of SJB and UNP? I mean, when you say, Tharaka earlier said that the so-called bond scam, right? These are the words that he used, the so-called bond scam. And if the NPP can't prove it, then it didn't happen? Is that what they're saying?
No, that's not what I'm saying.
Then
That's
was
not what I'm saying.
Premadasa lying when he said that there was a bond scam?
That's not what I'm saying.
Was,
I said
was
so-called bond scam. It's an allegation against Ranil Wickremesinghe that you are making.
Were they not truthfully believing that there was a bond scam? Were they just saying it just for the sake of getting political clout? Right? So this is my, this is my critique of the answers being given here. And I do think I have the right to critique the answers. That's why I'm here. I answer your questions, and they asked me a lot of questions. I answered almost all of them, right? So I mean,
we never
I also
asked you
do have the right
you
to ask
jumped into a
questions.
statement. We never asked you questions. You jumped into a statement.
No, I did not. You did that for like 30 minutes.
If we could go to
I have a few respond to
Rajeevkanth. Yes, please.
That's what I want, please. I'm new to this show. I'm learning. It's like my promotion period.
Patiently watching, patiently waiting.
It's like my promotion period. So okay. First of all, the 15% of revenue increased. It's combine of direct and indirect taxes. So which is about 92% of the total revenue directly comes from taxes. So that also, if you take tax on goods and services, has been the revenue has been increased by 25%, almost 26%. 26%. So when it comes to this indirect tax, all the necessity items, they have this tax. That means all the people, despite of their income and everything, everyone should pay this. And when there is a big inequality in income, like a country like Sri Lanka, we can't take the revenue, big revenue from these indirect taxes. That will directly affect the people who are underlying the poverty. So that is where we are earning a lot. That's we have to prove into this IMF and all that we never borrowed the money, or maybe we never take anything from this international sovereign bond holders to do something to these poor people.
But they are the ones who have to pay at the end.
They are the one always bearing that. If you see in Sri Lanka, the rich people living in a rich area, even the government also rich in that area, even the all the roads and all the facilities, infrastructure, everything is good where the rich people is living. But when you see the poor area, the poor people living in a poorest way. I see the one important part, even the people like NPP, they are comrades and they are from the left ideology. Even I am not even from that kind of a left ideology person, but I learned a lot of things from them. But if you see, the last budget they have allocated 100 million to Jaffna Library. They have made it like a big announcement. it is very irrelevant actually. That library have all the facilities, but if you see Mullatthivu and Kilnochi, the most war affected area, small schools, and the area doesn't have a single library. They can build 10 libraries. These are the things they have taken that political advantage. They want to prove that UNP has burned your library and we are giving money. That is not you want to do. There is something else we need. So the one example, and if you see another one, the 45% of the revenue is taken from tax on international trade. That also directly go into the public. So there are about 1067 billion unpaid taxes are here. All the corporate and other people who are getting this moratorium period and unpaid. There are several other taxes. We need to be collected those things. And even if you see our trade balance is always on a deficit side. But if you see unrealized incomes are there. There are certain incomes still parked on different countries. So there are certain actions we need to made against these people, the corporate people. But this government also fully go behind them.
I want to respond to that.
And also, no, I will finish and respond because
sure.
otherwise I'll forget.
No, sure, because
and especially we all brought up in a war situation. During that time, there's a huge allocation for defense. But still, for the 2025 allocation is 442 billion. And this government is still talking about the control, the expenses. But this is the biggest expense. And also, if you see, 3% increase from the last budget. And there's no war, nothing. And northern East area is very peaceful. There are 12,000 of ex-LTT cadres are there, not even a single shooting incident. Shooting incidents are happening in south. Why you keep 60% of population and the army is there? So you have to tell me the reason. As a Tamil person from the northern East, I am seeing everywhere army. Everywhere. They are living peacefully, we also living peacefully. Why arms? Why you are spending on it unwantedly, and why you are wasting the young workforce on this army? And also if you see, we are the 14th largest military in the country, in the world. In the world, 14 in terms of number of population and the armed forces.
I think this issue was addressed even during the government of Ranil Wickremesinghe. They were always speaking about right-sizing the military.
Exactly.
Because the military is not a place where you can just sack the people and be like, you're out of jobs.
There are several countries.
More shootings on the streets of
there are several countries. They keep some reserve forces. They can work somewhere, and when if any situation come, any disaster come, any situation, critical situation, they will come and serve. But we are wasting our young workforce on this. They are just sitting, and some people are doing hotel, and some people are doing agriculture, and some people are doing nothing, and some people are disturbing. This is what they are doing. So this is one issue. And also Lakmali has mentioned about this renewable energy windmill in Mannar. Mannar people are on the road. They are facing several issues. They already, the Mannar is not a big area. It's a very small area, 130 kilometers square feet. 130 kilometers square. Actually, if you see, 38 kilometer width long and 3.8 kilometer width. This is how this Mannar island is located. And there are already 30 windmills there. 30. And each windmill, each turbine, they took about 8 to 10 acres of land. And they blocked all the drainages. And people are suffering. They face a lot of issues. They are directly telling us. We went and we were with them. And now again, with this another private company, they have doing another 14 turbine there. And I saw some research report from Moratwe University. In Sri Lanka, there are several other places have been identified. The same like Mannar. But why they went into Mannar and disturbing the people like this? They already allowed to put 30. They are okay with that. They want to do that drainage system to be cleared. That is what they, and also plantation worker salary, which is the biggest talk on the town. Why? And they are the one, and they only mention the Guinness record price and all for tea.
No, that's not true. Raj, you are not being fair on anything, no?
No, I mean, no,
because you know what?
No, Lakmali, I am asking, one thing I am asking, in the manifesto.
I will respond to some, because I will, you have so many questions, I might forget.
No, Lakmali, I don't want to be rude or anything with you, I am asking, because this plantation worker salary, clearly, they also fight it on their side, and they clearly stated in the manifesto.
1,750. I think it was again reiterated by the President.
Yeah, we're still on that
Not
position.
even, nothing has happening so far. This is about, these are the important issues need to be sorted out immediately.
There are so many important issues in this country.
No, the
Rajeev, please, I want to respond to what you're saying.
All
There are
talk,
so
no
many important issues in this country, right? And we are not denying any of those. We are not denying any of those. Sri Lanka has a development deficit. Sri Lanka has a democracy deficit, right? If you look at the table, you can see that. Right, so I think it's if you look at the table, you can see that, and I think the problem here is we have to work on it. You can't expect the government to change everything within 1 year, right? It takes time. There are certain things that we have changed. There are certain areas that has improved, right? And in terms of land, Jaffna Jaffna Library was a symbol of reconciliation. We never made it out to be something that we didn't allocate 100 million to the Jaffna Library because it was lacking in anything. Because there was injustice done to that library. And we wanted to make that a symbol of reconciliation. That was, you pointed it out right. It was a symbol of reconciliation, right? And I think it's important for us to acknowledge that there was a harm done. It was a way of, contributing to that.
So
I'll highlight one important thing. One important thing. I don't know how she will answer for that. If you see, there are hundreds of thousands disappear cases are there, and people who surrendered their children to the army disappear in front of their eyes. So they are the living evidence, and this government has arrested Pulliyan and Iniya Bharati for this disappeared case. Not even a single person. I'm mentioning that. So this is what we are facing for a long time, and always every government is doing this, and they don't want to touch any Tamil sentimental issue to this side.
No, that's
There's Navy commander.
Iniya Bharati was not arrested for disappearance cases.
No, Ravindranath disappeared case only. Pulliyan got arrested. From Pulliyan, this got arrested.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So not the disappearances of his children.
No, I am asking. Only this Ravindranatth only
we have
kidnapped and killed.
opened the
Is there anyone else? Why
No,
the Navy commander, one Navy commander got arrested now.
Yes.
He is in the prison now.
Yes.
He arrested for one abduction case. Who is that?
About 13 children in
Yeah.
Yes.
It's not a Tamil case. There are several cases are there. Evidence are there. Why they are not doing it?
So what are these cases and what are the evidence? Because I mean I know that
You can see the mothers on the road for last 8 years. That is the longest
on the road.
longest
Rajeev,
cycle.
can I, because you are making a huge political speech and I want to, because you
Not
know,
Lakmali, please,
no.
Actually, I think it's okay.
So
Let's
you
mark
want
it.
to, because
Okay, you go.
allegations against the
No,
government
I
to
understand.
say that we have not done anything about the disappearances is wrong, because we have restarted the work on the Office of Missing Persons. The Justice Minister has openly said this, right? And we have opened investigations into these cases as well. It is being done, right? So for you to come here and say that we are not doing anything, that is not right. And it is not just the North that has suffered disappearances. NPP and particularly JVP is a political party which understands the pain of disappearance very well, really well, right? It happened in the South also, and there was never any justice delivered to those people either, right? So I think that is a concern. Enforced disappearances is a problem that we have to face as a country, and we have to recognize as a country, and we have to find a solution together. There is no point in saying that because yes, there is a problem of administrating justice in Sri Lanka in terms of I admitted earlier PTA has been racially profiled. It has
What
been
about
used
political
in
prisoners, Lakmali?
political prisoners. I wanted to answer that. So the political prisoners issue is we have not said that there are no political prisoners or whatever, right? What we have said is there are few political prisoners remaining. There are few people remaining, and they have received convictions, right? So that is the issue here. They have received convictions, and they have been put on trial and received convictions, and some of these crimes are serious crimes. The allegations are very serious.
So what about KP, Pulliyan, Karuna? They never made anything? So maybe the KP, the one who supply all the
You should
arms
ask
to
him
this?
that. Not
No,
me.
I am asking.
No,
because
why
the
are
issue
you
is
asking me that?
the LTD is a huge organization. They are in the war. We know who shoot whom and how many people each of them killed. They are living peacefully. Why only these 10 people suffered in the prison for
No,
30
there
years?
are convictions
This
against
is a
them.
war situation.
These are serious
Why we are
crimes
calling
that they
them
have
political
committed.
prisoners?
No, Rajiv, I want KP and Pillan and all of that.
No, I don't want even KP to be in the prison. I am telling the people like KP outside and enjoying their
Are you
life.
saying that NPP government is aligning with KP and Pillan and
No,
people
I'm
I think
asking.
Lakmali,
that is not my point.
I think Lakmali Rajeevkanth's position is that these people have been in prison for 10 years. Now,
Not 30 years.
Sorry,
yeah,
I'm sorry,
on
30 years.
convictions.
Or
Some of them on convictions.
some of them on convictions.
Yeah, not some
My
of them actually, all of them. Are
All of
on
them have
convictions.
No, two
convicted.
of them not convicted yet.
Two of them
15 years they are under remand. They are not convicted. I have the detail. 8 of them have been
My
convicted.
information is what
But
I was,
the-
because I've made inquiries.
So this is not. Do you think is this not enough? 90 when someone got arrested in their 19 years, their 30 years suffered in the prison.
Yeah, some
There
of
are-
these events are like Dalada bomb blast, right? So some of these events are killing national level politicians. So we have to have that consideration as well when we talk about what about people like Kris here, right? What do you think is going to happen in the south if we just release people who are, you know, you
Actually,
have to
Ranil
maintain
Convicted.
ethics.
Convicted.
No, Ranil
Convicted.
Wickremesinghe has released 38 people who convicted, most of them. He gave the president pardon.
Yeah.
38
So Ranil Wickremesinghe is better for
on
ethnic
that
relations
time
than
he
the
was
NPP
with me in the
president.
Aragala. He also shouted to release all the political prisoners. She was with
If
me.
this is
I
going to
was
be
going to
the
ask, I was going to ask the same question. But was she in the same stance when she was with them here? I didn't
I want
Yes, yes.
I want to continue to answer.
Yes.
Because if when I interfere and somebody
No,
gets
Lakmali, you
triggered-
can answer. Chris, just make a
not
small
just
comment.
Kris, not just Kris. I want even Rajiv.
Okay.
I want to continue to answer and finish off an answer.
Yes.
Then you can respond.
Yes.
Rajiv, right?
Oh,
I
sorry.
think.
Okay.
I think because otherwise.
Yes, Lakmali, let's continue.
Looks as
Let's
if, you
continue.
know.
Because we're in the final few minutes of the show,
Yeah. So
actually.
the position of NPP is that political prisoners were something that I have personally campaigned for that. That is right. But there are other concerns here. You cannot just release people. Look at what happened with. Look at what happened with the LGBTQ rights discourse here. Right. Look at what happened with violence against students and the penal code amendment on that.
Corporal
Right,
punishment.
corporal punishment. There are political discourses that we cannot control. This is a government. We are responsible for everybody. We have to maintain ethnic relations in the country. We cannot tilt towards one part, and we have not. We've had racist governments in Sri Lanka. We've had people who were openly, calling for racism in Sri Lanka. We've had Islamophobia in Sri Lanka, rampant Islamophobia in Sri Lanka. We've had governments who came into power on platforms of Islamophobia and racism. NPP has done a lot to control that. As a political party and also as a government, we never resort to racism. We never resort to Islamophobia, right? We never resort to divisive cultural politics. We don't do that. Even when the attacks are on us, as women, as you know, we are called so many things. We are called, if you look at the social media, if you look at what is being said in the parliament sometimes, it is horrible. But we never resort to cultural divisive politics. It takes a lot of effort to keep this together, right? So if you're going to come here and say, KP and Pillan were part of a certain government, right? It is true. I think you should call them out on that. But we also call them out on that. We also question these things, right? So I think we can all agree that conditions have improved. Conditions, if you are going to come here and say that nothing has improved for Tamil people also voted for NPP. Tamil people also voted for NPP in 3 elections, right? Even in the local government elections, 20% of the North voted with NPP, right? We also have Tamil local council members. So it's not fair for you to come here and say that we have done nothing. We have released land. We have done a lot, I think. We have, within this 1 year, we have been very receptive towards the concerns, even the Mannar land issue. Right? These are projects that have been signed. These are projects that were negotiated. And this is a serious concern. Energy is a serious concern. Energy is a much bigger concern than debt also in Sri Lanka, right? To be very honest. So we have to tackle our energy business here. It is a sector that can grow, but it is also a sector that can go into stagnation and crisis if we don't develop into it, right? Then we saw what happened in 2022 when people did not have access to energy. Is that what we want? Do we want a repetition of that level of suffering in Sri Lanka? I don't think so. Government has to be responsible. The government can't come here and just make a rhetoric and a political rhetoric and then move on. Everybody will go home. We can't. Right? We can't. We have to be here. We have to be responsible. We have to make sure that people are well fed every day. We have to. And about the taxation issue that Rajiv raised about international trade taxation, much of this is actually on vehicle imports, right? Even the indirect taxation that the VAT revenue increase, much of it is on vehicle imports. We have not imposed new VATs. We have not imposed a single new tax in this year, right? We have been very, very lenient on the taxation. We have reduced taxes. Income taxes were reduced. We removed certain VATs, right? So we are doing our best as a government to make sure that people, because we also care about the people, we stand with the people. It is because we stand with the people that we do not want everything to fall apart just by being, we are not adventurists. We are not here to be heroes. We are here to be a government, right? So I think that we have to sort of get together. I'm all for Rajiv's criticism. I'm very welcoming of that. I don't think I do believe the only genuine level of criticism that's coming against the government is actually coming from you, and I don't think there's, I hold myself accountable for that. There's nothing wrong with that. But I also do think that we have to, sort of balance it out. A government has to balance it out. A government can't be as rhetoric based as
Lakmali, shall I ask one
you
thing?
would
In your manifesto, Lakmali, they have clearly stated they will release all the political prisoners. If you want, I can give you. Then, without knowing the fact, you have mentioned that, is it? So why you made that campaign to the Tamil people?
Tamil people have not rejected us, Rajeevkanth.
No,
Tamil people, no, because Tamil people have not rejected us. For you to come and say, yeah, why did you make this campaign? No, they have not rejected us. They fully understand. I think Tamil people more than anybody, Muslim people more than anybody understand the cost that they can be paying.
You have to be accountable to what you have said.
We are accountable to what we have said. We are accountable. And when there's something, there's a practical difficulty in doing something, when there's practical difficulty in achieving something that we wanted to achieve, we're very open about it. We're not lying about it. We're not lying about it. I'm giving you the honest reason why it is not possible at the moment. Right? I'm not lying to you about it. I'm not telling that these people are.
So just for argument's sake now, based on what.
Just one thing, because she pointed out something about me and my fellow colleague on SJB, saying that he's the only one giving constructive criticism.
Okay.
No, not constructive, genuine.
Okay, if I want to criticize Shalan, I can easily criticize to the person who seated right next to me about her statement that she made at the Colombo District Committee. That was contempt of court.
And who are you to decide that? Court?
Okay, it can be a contempt of court.
Don't incriminate yourself further. I think
no, I want to answer that.
You have done that. When there is a judicial decision given, Lakmali, if you want to talk about criticism,
I want to respond to that. I want to respond to that.
Well, now
this is
since he brought it up, I want to respond.
Okay, you can't at district committee sit and say no. Who asked you to execute?
Decide what is contempt of
Who
court.
asked you to execute the judicial? You can't do that.
Lakmali, respond to that.
I will respond
If it's
to that.
criticizing,
I will respond to that. I will respond to that.
There should be discipline in the government. Before
No, but
Can I?
Lakmali, just before you respond, now, Kris, now there has been this statement that has gone on social media. Right? So I did a bit of reading about it because I was curious.
There's Balthazaar, there's a Colombo mayor, there's her.
Yes, I understand. I did a bit of reading up about it, but Kris, do you understand the complete context of the situation in which the statement was made and what the matter that Lakmali was referring to?
No, but then after that, we saw how the judicial minister comes and says, if that's the case, was it the judicial minister?
No, but
There's another
I'm
minister who
asking.
said that if the eviction orders are going to, half of the people we want to have places to live in.
Can I respond to this?
Yes, okay, Lakmali,
Because this is a serious matter for me. I'm a lawyer. I have huge respect for courts. I have practiced for years, right? And I want to say this.
But Lakmali, this response is coming from you in a context where there has been a complaint lodged and all of this.
Fine.
No, that's why I don't want to bring it up, sir.
That's
Because there's a
fine.
complaint file.
That's fine.
She can't use it to her advantage.
No, that's fine.
but
I brought it up.
No,
because she said because she said that there is no that we are the only proper criticism is coming from that.
So we'll let Lakmali respond and then we'll go to the closing
Discipline.
round.
Then you talk.
Yes, Lakmali, okay, you can respond.
We are talking about a piece of land, right? We're talking about a piece of land that was acquired for baseline development. And it is now RDA property, right? And RDA has gone before.
The vested with the RDA, vesting all done.
Yeah, it is all done.
Okay.
It is RDA property, right? RDA has gone before a magistrate and taken an ejectment order. An ejectment order. And there is a law on recovery of state land in Sri Lanka. It is a very strict law. It's a very strict law. I think it's a 1979 law, right? And under this law, there's a series of escalation that you can take against a unauthorized occupant of state land, right? First is you issue a quick notice, then you have to take a order, an ejectment order, and then you have to actually come with the fiscal and enforce the order.
Yes.
Forceful eviction. It's called forced eviction, right? What we have been discussing in the DDC, the Divisional District, the Development Committee, is an issue that was discussed for the past 1.5 years, since 2024. And this is an issue that RDA themselves brought to the committee and said, there is an issue, this is a land, there are people who are living in this land, they do not want to go in spite of the notice that we have given to them of the court order. What should we do, right? What are we going to do about this? This is why the DDC exists, to discuss community issues, to resolve them in a peaceful manner, to not make it, to not blow it out of proportion and cause harm to anybody. That is the concern of the DDC, right? So when this matter was brought out, we had a discussion and I asked them, why not enforce the order? Why not enforce it? You don't have to go into forced eviction. Give us some time. These are just 8 families. We look for alternative housing because they have been promised alternative housing for 1 year. Since 2024, there have been discussions about alternative housing. We look for alternative housing. RDA, UDA, and all of us will get together, look for alternative housing, and then you don't have to go ahead with the forced eviction. The order is in operation. The court order that was given is in operation. There is notice given, right? It is the RDA who will not be, because we requested it from them,
Filing the writ.
To forcefully evict 8 families.
The video, we all
right?
watched the video.
Right, no, so this is,
Minister Vattagala had to step
I
in
want
to
to
correct
respond
a
to this.
mistake.
This is a
Minister
serious
Vattagala
matter.
had to step in to
This is a
correct
serious
Let's,
matter.
okay, we'll have
we all watched the video. We all watched the video. She's interpreting it to her own benefit.
This is what
There
I
is a
told
complaint
them.
made against her today.
Yes.
Anybody can make complaints.
Anyone
I'm
can
not
make a
against
complaint.
that.
For
Anybody can
contempt
make.
of court,
Can I?
there is a complaint made.
Is this?
Yes. No, Lakmali. Yes,
This
you
is a
can
serious issue.
continue. You can
This has
continue.
been.
You can continue, Lakmali.
No.
Yes.
So then the issue is here whether the only thing that I have asked from the RDA is to not go ahead. When I say do not implement the order, what I'm trying to say is, and they understand that because this is a conversation that we have been having for past few months, right? RDA understands that. RDA officials understand that. What we have been having the conversation is about forced eviction. Eviction is not just a law and order matter. Eviction is a matter that concerns social fabric of a community, right? Colombo has more than 30,000 unauthorized occupants of state land. It will be a bad sign if you push people out just because RDA wants land for storage. And we made these inquiries. Is this for a development project? Is this urgent? What is the urgency? Can we just hold this for a few months, not forcefully evict them? Because these are people living on this land, right? There are people living on this land and they have been living in that land for more than 30 years. The actual person who, if you watch that video, there's a person who's making a plea from the DDC saying, don't throw them out like cats and dogs. He says that they're being thrown out like animals. Don't do that. And that is actually a SLPP MMC member.
Irrespective.
Right?
But
No, please.
No.
So this is not something that I'm
you're
doing
trying
for...
to justify yourself here.
No, I'm not justifying.
DDC.
I'm not justifying.
I've been sitting at
I'm not
DDC
justifying.
way before even came
Please,
into politics.
Can I talk?
From 2011 I have been at DDC.
We'll give you an opportunity. We'll give you an opportunity.
I'm not justifying myself.
She has no right
I'm
to
not
say it.
justifying.
Why doesn't she have a right?
I have all the right to talk about what I think.
She can talk about, she can't give instructions. It is a subject minister who can decide. It is a minister of the RDA
I have asked,
who can decide whether it's to evict or not.
But Chris, how much? I think I watched an extended version of that video, but Have you watched the extended version, or is it
No,
just
why,
that?
my point is
Whatever
this.
the video that
My
is out
point
on
is this.
social
My
media.
point is this, Sharon.
Is Lakmali the Minister of
No, but
Highways?
what is your objection to what Lakmali is
Is
saying? Chris?
Lakmali the Minister of Highways?
Okay.
Decide that it is
I'm
the
not
minister.
deciding anything.
It is the minister, the subject minister who
I'm not
decides.
deciding anything.
Okay.
I'm not deciding
So
anything.
she can't say,
no,
whether
I'm
it's
not
a
deciding
SLPP
anything.
But she
member or
said,
not.
නාරායන්පිට OIC මහත්තයා කිව්වා අපේ එකඟත්වයකට ආව නේද?
No,
මේ
no, I
අධිකරණ
never said
තීන්දුව
this is a
ක්‍රියාත්මක කරන්නේ
lie.
නැහැ කියලා. That
This
is
is
what
no,
video
this is
reflects.
no, you have
That
to-
is what the
Okay.
video
No.
reflects.
And
You
if
can
it's
say
a-
no,
if
you
it's a
can
photo
jump
paper,
out.
I want to-
I think yes, yes. I think just
No,
yes.
now she bought
No, I
out SLPP member here.
No,
She
no,
bought
no.
out an SLPP member. If it's a SLPP member, I should be the one who's backing. If the
No,
SLPP
Chris,
member has
yes.
done
No,
something
I
Yeah,
wrong,
don't think
yeah.
so.
Yeah.
I don't
person
think,
immediately.
I don't think when it comes to a concern of a community, when it comes to a concern of families who do not have a place to go if they are thrown out to streets, it doesn't matter whether it's coming from UNP, SLPP or SJB, right? It should be a problem of the government as well, right? And that is the stance that we have. It is a discussion. This is an agreement that the RDA came with us, right? And then if the other issue is this entire thing about me instructing the OIC of Narayanpeta police is not true. It's not true.
Then the video
It's
must
not
be
true.
doctored.
It is
You must
edited
be-
then.
you
Shall I-
must-
It is
shall I-
edited.
shall I-
You can
shall I
ask-
get the video?
No, because
Okay.
I'm
We can
asking,
raise
you know,
it.
No, we've
no,
seen
what I'm
Lakmali
asking-
come
Okay,
out
Chris.
on so many statements and say the same thing and then correct herself later on. If you want, we'll get the video and play.
No,
She's not
please
correcting.
play it.
She's
No, I
clarifying.
wanted to play
She's
it.
clarifying.
I wanted to play
Okay,
it.
Lakmali, you can
I wanted to
continue.
play it and show
We are in
me.
actually the final few minutes
No,
of the
I
show.
want you to play it and
Right,
show
Lakmali.
me
Yes, yes.
where have I exactly asked the OIC not to do anything. I'm not asking. I'm asking OIC Mahatya, do you know about this? That's what I'm asking. Because somebody says Narayanpeta OIC knows about this.
Do you
Right?
have video now?
So this is the conversation.
I don't think
This
so.
is the problem here. The
I-
problem
I-
is the actual problem
The
is
court will make an approach.
No,
yes, definitely. I think
if there is a complaint to the court,
Yes.
the court will make
Yes,
an order,
yeah,
right?
definitely.
I think so.
Definitely it
I
will go
think so.
to court
And I want to
Lakmali can
conclude
bring
this.
this
I want to
defense.
conclude this by saying this. It is really unfair. It is very because recovery of when the recovery of state land. Possession of state land law was brought in 1979. There is actually a judgment that was given by the judiciary, Supreme Court in 1982. I think it's Nanayakkara versus Nanayakkara, right? Which actually says that judgment at that time under this law. I want to explain this law to the people to understand the gravity of this, right? Because under this law, the unauthorized occupant has no defense. They don't have a defense. Unless they can show a permit given by the state to occupy that land, nothing else matters, right? That was not the state of the law when it was originally drafted and passed in 1979. But when in Namunupola versus Senanayaka, when the Supreme Court went ahead and said that long-term encroachment can be a defense for the person to actually occupy that land, the Parliament actually amended the law and removed that, right? So when the Supreme Court actually came in defense of unauthorized occupants in 1982, in this reported case, right, which was later amended. So to portray the judiciary as something that does not understand people, that does not understand the pain of the people, that does not understand the pain of the evictee, right, and to portray law as something that is without justice to people is really unfair for the people, right? And I've been a lawyer for people for a really long time. I've fought cases for the underdog and won in the court because I believe the court is a place with justice. I do think there is fairness in the courts, right? And these are not the eviction rejectment orders are not given against the state. These are given in favor of the state, right? The state can decide whether they want to. RDA has full control of whether they want to evict people forcefully at that, right? And there are human rights standards attached to forced evictions as well. So this is a conversation that should happen in the whole gambit of that. Unfortunately, because the opposition has relied on some social media edited snippet.
There is a 11-minute
Right?
video. If you can give me
Yeah.
the time, I'll play the video.
Yeah.
I don't think.
And
I
if-
think.
It is unfortunate. I think the law is being portrayed wrong to the people. You would agree, Shalan.
I think Chris brought out this matter. Lakmali responded. I think we should leave it at that. And if by chance there has been any consensus vote.
Who's saying that?
Yeah,
මම කිව්වනේ අධිකරණ තීන්දුව ක්‍රියාත්මක කරන්න එපා කියලා.
Yeah, and then
No. So here.
එතකොටත් කිව්වනේ ඒගොල්ලන්ට විරුද්ධව නීති මේ අධිකරණ තීන්දුව කරන්න එපා ඒගොල්ලන්ට යන
Okay, so now there you say
Oh,
you
I
have
think
මම කියවනේ ඔයගොල්ලන්ට අධිකරණ
No,
නීතිය
no,
So I think
No,
yes, I think
every time
we
it
were in
happens,
the
there should be a limit to this.
No, what? I have not denied saying that. I just explained why I did that.
No,
Yes.
then you try to
Yes,
say
not, no, she's,
I didn't deny that. What
all
I
right,
did-
so we'll go to the final round of today's show. Went a little bit long, so we'll have to limit our closing statements to 2 minutes. Let's quickly start off with Tharaka Nanayakkara from the Samagijana Balavegi.
Thank you, Shalan. I'm sure you will enforce the 2 minutes because you're
Yes,
then.
yes, late.
Firstly, to respond to Lakmali, Lakmali was very quick to defend Anand Vijaypala, the Cabinet Minister of Public Security. But it has come to our knowledge that Lasantha Vikramasekara, the deceased chairman of Peligam Pradesh Sabha, the murdered chairman of Peligam Pradesh Sabha, had in fact on the 29th of August written to the Inspector General of Police saying there are threats to my life by various underworld gangs and I fear that my life will be taken when I'm approaching or leaving the Pradesh Sabha office, and had sought security or requested suitable measures from the police, from the Inspector General himself. It's not me who's saying it. Lankadeep Online is carrying that news. So therefore, Ranjit Madhum Bandara, the Honorable General Secretary of the SJB and Member of Parliament, was not wrong to say that government is responsible. Government is responsible to protect the life and limb of every citizen. You can't punish people by death except by court of law. That is also not there in Sri Lanka. So Ananda Vijaypala can say whatever he wants, but the responsibility of protecting the life of Lasantha Vikramasekara or any other citizen lies with the government, and it is a governmental failure. That is very clear. Then coming back to the subject matter, I think the contempt of court, I don't want to deal with it because it will be dealt with in court, and I think we are not the appropriate forum to even discuss that matter. And our subject matter was about budget and public spending and the expectations of the government. So looking at public spending, the World Bank report that I referred to on 7th of October, published on 7th of October, says that out of the capital spending, only the execution is only 27% out of the allocation of the budget. So this year also there's 4,434 billion allocated for the national budget. So this is very poor performance compared to 2017 to 2023. The capital spending execution was 80%, which is also not satisfactory. It has to be 100%. You allocate money to a ministry, you allocate money to a project, that has to be utilized. That is the efficiency. And here 27% is the efficiency, 73% is the inefficiency. That is why we say this government is inefficient, incapable of running this country and incapable of managing this economy, particularly in view of the IMF payback obligations that are looming ahead. And that is why we say when the left tilted government fails, the right wing, center right political parties will align together to take this country forward without letting it fall into another crisis. That is why the alliance is discussed. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Attorney at Law Tharaka Nanayakkara from the SJB. We now move to Rajeevkanth from the People's Struggle Alliance. Your time starts now.
Thank you so much. So I just want to mention about the political prisoners issue because I am working closely with them and their relations. They are suffering a lot. This is not a normal thing to say. There are several killers who killed in front of my eye. There are 5 of my friends has been killed by armed forces. There are several crime committed by armed forces. Everybody is living happily and with the promotions and other thing in this country. But people, whether we don't know they're the actual killers or maybe actually they have done that crime, that is totally unfair to say this because any government, any of the past government never said this. I'm very disappointed with that answer because it's about the people life. You can't take that in this way, and you can't particularly you can punish only for few people and rest of them living happily. And today also some Every day there is a commemoration event in Northern East. Every day. Today also some commemoration event happened. 30 over people has been killed in 1987 in Jaffna Hospital by IPKF, Indian Armed Force. So every day we are commemorating, and you are telling that these people have killed, that people have killed me. So just release them as promise. This is the request, because I made it to Minister Harshana Nanayakkara also several times. So we are working on it, and also the PTA should be repealed. So no blah blah talks, because we know they are using it, and even the TID is working really, on oppress the people. I can see that. So oppression is everywhere. We are feeling it, and people are facing it. So that's the reason we are talking about it. So, and there is 6 MOU has been signed with India and not even released to public. So transparency is a big question mark. And even this Trincomalee oil tank and Sambur, what do you call, not wind power, actually solar power project. So these are the lands actually taken from the farmers. Even the Muthunagar I have mentioned about, those lands have been taken from farmer. Mailathamadu dairy farmers are struggling for over 1,000 days. So no answers has been given. Even the land, he said lands has been released, not the private lands, not much lands, and the people are still on the road. There are certain things the government can easily do, and the mandate they got the mandate. That doesn't mean they can stop to doing what they promised. The mandate is given by people for the manifesto, nothing else. So manifesto has clearly stated something that also they are nowadays refusing. Sad to see that we are talking for public, nothing else. Actually, I want these political prisoners to be released. So that has to be done at any cost. So thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Rajkumar Rajeevkanth from the People's Struggle Alliance. We now move to Kris Balthazaar from the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna. Your time starts now.
Well, thank you very much for having me on the show today. And winding up, I would like to say this government in their manifesto and prior to coming into power, since this being a budgetary conversation, came in that they insisted for the 6% on education. So that was one of their main. We saw the PM back in the time, making a big harp for the 6%. So I hope on this budget, last time on the same show we spoke about it, but we said, okay, it's the first year, can take your time, but this is something that is needed. Because currently the education structure, Shalan, at the moment the private sector is doing much larger. The largest school in Sri Lanka is a privately owned school. The second largest is also a privately owned school. So education reforms has to be taken forward, and the upcoming budget, the government has to focus on education and health. Health, there's a huge scarcity for medicines, and with that there's a certain cancer drug that is not available, which the people now are paid, I think it's more than 40 to 60,000 rupees just to get that drug, and that's to stop the growth of the cancer. So these were issued back in the day free of charge. But I think the government should focus a bit more on that, because they have a qualified doctor as a minister who was an advocate back in the time, who spoke against the government and who spoke about these things quite a lot. So the government should focus on the health sector and this thing. Well, yes, they have spoken about the public transport sector, and we see that there's certain things that's happening. Kudos to them on that. We saw how the Peta station, bus station the renovation started. That's very good. But I hope that they can do it up to a level of international standards, or to the standards that during the SLPP government or the SLFP government, as to how we did things. Like, bring it up to international standards without just, putting up 4 pillars and a roof. So those are the main things. But moving forward, we are looking forward for a budget, and with that budget, if the people are not going to get any benefits, and if they're going to continue on just taxing people and not giving anything back to the people, that is the time that we as SLPP will take to the roads with the people. Because it's the people who are struggling now. They came with so many promises, they came with so much on platter, but nothing has been given. So the SLPP, I'm sure, with most of the oppositions, will all join on behalf of the people, and we have already built the roadmap for it. We have already started talking to international communities about it, and you see our national organization at this very moment is in Korea working on it. There'll be more visits to more countries. So we will move forward, and we'll see how it goes. We'll give them just a few more days for the budget.
Thank you very much, Kris Balthazaar from the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramunu. And we finally move our attention to Attorney at Law Lakmali Hemachandra from the National People's Power. Your time starts.
Thank you, Shihar and Niresh, for having me here again. And I think it was a very productive discussion. I want to finish off actually talking about something that has nothing to do with politics, because this is the Breast Cancer Awareness Month this month, and today in the Parliament also we did everybody was wearing pink saris, and we wear the pink badge here, the ribbon here, to raise awareness on breast cancer. And because out of all the cancers that women suffer, breast cancer is the #1 killer for women, and there's a risk for men also. There's a breast cancer risk for men also, but the largest risk group is women, right? But because it is also a cancer that can be if detected early, can be treated and cured also. There is a larger possibility of doing that. But unfortunately, not a lot of women know about it, and they do not know how to, self-test yourself and take a test, go to a hospital, take a test and check yourself to see whether you have early signs of breast cancer. And I really do hope that there's a lot of stigma about women's health, there's a lot of stigma about women's bodies and how comfortable you feel about it. I really do hope that every woman who's watching this today will take a test, self-test yourself, or go to a hospital, take a mammogram and check yourself whether you have, especially if you're over 35, you might be at risk. I will be also going for a breast cancer check this weekend, hopefully, so I think everybody should take that, and women should stay healthy and free from breast cancer. I hope the message is well delivered with the action we took in Parliament and also with the last message here. Thank you so much for giving the time for that also.
Thank you very much, Attorney at Law Lakmali Hemachandra from the National People's Power. Thank you very much to our panelists. Thank you very much to Niresh and Shihar for asking all the right questions. Thank you very much to all our viewers out there for tuning in to another episode of Face the Nation. Until we meet again, take care and God bless.